Hello everyone, welcome to Bible Corner Reviews. Today's video is of a Bible from one of my favorite publishers of all time. I'm hoping this video does justice to this Bible because it is very highly appreciated by me, and so obviously I have some hesitation about doing it right. So this is a Schuyler Quentel from Evangelical Bible. Now Schuyler is the line of Bible that this is. Evangelical Bible is the publisher. You can find them at evangelicalbible.com. They are a premium Bible publisher. That's what they exclusively publish premium Bibles, although now they do sell some non-premium editions through their website. Their Quentel was their first line of Bible that they started with and really what they became known for producing, and they've really just exploded in terms of what they offer now. But a Schuyler Bible was one of my first true premium Bibles that I purchased. I purchased a personal size Quentel, which I will show in a minute, but it really set my standard for what a premium Bible should look like. So I'm not going to do too many comparisons in this video. I just want to cover this so that way it's not an hour-long video. So this is the slate goatskin, and they do have many calfskin options now and many other goatskin options, but they come in these fantastic single-piece clamshell boxes. They have a Jerusalem cross on the front, and then one side will have Schuyler Bibles, and then the other side will have the Quentel ESV. This one is in slate goatskin. Really nice box design. Now I've taken this one in and out, so it's a little bit scuffed up, but can't really complain about their boxes. First thing I wanted to say might be a little weird, but if you've ever opened a Bible that's even a non-premium Bible, sometimes when you open the box, it has this weird smell, and a lot of that has to do with the glue that's being used and just the process of binding it. But when you get into these higher dollar premium Bibles, the leather also has a very distinct smell. And it's kind of a weird thing that a lot of Bible nerdy people do, and they will smell the different leathers and just comment about that. I'm not really that much of a Bible sniffer, but you can't really avoid noticing when you open a Schuyler Bible that it does have a very sweet leather smell. And so it's just something I wanted to point out. If you open a Schuyler Bible, it will have a distinct smell, and it's not a bad thing. That's just how the publishing works and the result of all of the different mixtures of components. The Bible will come with a Schuyler Bible's card. Has a little bit about the purchase of your Schuyler Bible. And then they've started adding these bigger cards, just kind of like a promotional card. And depending on when you get it, they have a list of what's going to be released in the future. Obviously, you can see this one was a couple years ago. But this is a very cool piece of information that I think is very important just for understanding the significance behind these Bibles. Is this, you can pause this video right here if you would like, but it shows where all the different components of these Bibles come from. Really, it's an international project. And this is one reason I appreciate them so much, is they don't focus on one place. Yes, you have issues with different countries and their work practices, but in terms of just getting a general worldwide participation in this publication, I think is really neat, and they don't go cheap. They go with the best options out there. So the dimensions on this Bible are 9 1/8 inches tall by 6 1/8 wide by 1 1/8 thick. And that's just the block. That is not adding the leather, which is going to add a little bit. But overall, you have a 9x6 Bible. So it is a little bit bigger, as you can see. They have a Jerusalem cross on the front that is debossed. So it's just pressed in there. You can see it is a little bit smooth. And so far, they don't have many with this as a gold or silver embossing. The spines, however, are silver embossed for the slate goatskin. You have Holy Bible, English Standard Version, and then the Jerusalem Cross with Schuyler. Really simple spines, really like that. Their hubs are not super pronounced. They're rather subdued, which is really nice. They don't distract from the overall appearance, but they have a very clean look. There's perimeter stitching on the slate. It is a gray thread. Very clean. And then the back is just plain. The slate has red under silver art gilding, so The block is a silver, and you'll notice all over this, it's a basic red and gray / silver contrasting colors. So they do contrast but complement, and it really looks nice. You can see that the red under silver kind of has a pink look after you open it because of the silver kind of offsets the red a little bit. But overall, with the color scheme, the pink actually doesn't look out of place. It looks like it belongs. You have silver head and tail bands and 3/8 or 10 millimeter, I think these are 10 millimeter wide ribbons, and I think these are Beresford's. On the website, it says a 9 millimeter yap. Now, the yap is, if you're not familiar, the part that folds over. So you can see it is a little bit wider. But this is something that I wanted to show. It's not always going to be exact. So this edge here is right under 9, and this one's right over 9. So it's closer to 10. But you can see it's not even, but it is within the range of 9 millimeter. And this variance a little bit on the front, more on the front and less on the top and bottom is pretty normal. So it says 9 millimeter. It might vary a little bit, but it's going to be very close. And they are pretty good about being consistent. The liner is a calfskin liner. I really like the leather that they use. These are all produced in the Netherlands by Royal Youngblood. Has a very pebbly look to it. Corners are folded and then glued, and there's a silver interior gilt line. Have goatskin leather on the cover, and then a matching semi-glossy cardstock end sheet. Really great color combo. Opening this up, and these are edge lines, so initially at the beginning it's going to stick up a little bit, and unless you fold it over, it's going to want to stay open like that. It'll open up, but it's not going to be laying flat right at the beginning. They have a very decorative presentation page, single-sided marriages, birth, death, and then they don't have an occasions to remember on these ones, but you can really kind of add that in if you would like. Just the basic family history. Have Holy Bible, the next page of that, and then the quite extensive publication page information. So these are typeset by 2K Denmark and printed by Royal Youngblood in the Netherlands. And you can see here, this is the 2016 ESV text edition. I wrote in that on here because I was planning to potentially use this Bible for a study. So that's why that is in there. I have table of contents, preface to the ESV, and how to use this Bible in terms of references here. So there's a note about that. And then you have the Old Testament. Inside, we have an 11-point Milo text. It is paragraph format, double column, and it does read like a large print. It does have a very nice legible font. I really like the Milo. The paper is a 28 GSM coated Bible paper. Some have complained that it's too thin. I personally don't find that to be the case. Yes, it is ghosting a little bit more than some of your thicker papers, but it is line matched text, and really there's no difficulty reading. If you're going to mark in it, that's one thing. Pick your pens wisely, but I don't mark in my Bibles often, so that's not really an issue for me. There are over 80,000 cross-references in this Bible, so it is very robust in its cross-reference system. References are at the bottom of the page, separated by a line. The verse numbers being referenced are in red, but the verse numbers themselves are black. And then your textual footnotes are in a place above the cross-references under your column. So we'll get to a central location so you can kind of see that layout. The paper is a little bit of an off-white paper, so it reads really nice and it's not too loud. Poetic settings are verse by verse in a classical poetic format, and then paragraphs are indicated by indents. So in the poetic or prose sections, you can see paragraphs. There's no pilcrows, it just indents. Words of Christ are black, a personal favorite of mine. And then the chapter numbers are red. So overall, they have some red accents, but primarily it's a black letter text. And I think it really complements well the overall red and gray coloring, at least with the slate edition of the exterior. After Revelation, we have table of weights and measures, abbreviations, and then the concordance. Now this might be a place where I have a complaint, and that's just the size of the concordance. However, I'm not one to use a concordance extensively, so for me personally, it's not a big issue at all, but it does get pretty small. So for it being an 11-point text size and then having a 6-point, don't quote me, but I think it's close to a 6 or even 5-point concordance text size, it gets pretty small. But it's 3 columns. The textual references are in red, and the word being referenced is in red. So it's easy to locate, but it is a little bit smaller. And where Schuyler really has me hooked is in their maps. Now, if you've watched any of my other reviews, you'll have noticed that I do reference and compare other Bible maps to Schuyler's. And that's because they have really cornered the design choice on what to do with Bible maps, and that is put them on matte paper. And now this is probably a 40 or 50 GSM Bible paper. It's a little bit thicker than your main text paper, but it's still not cardstock. It's just a thicker Bible paper, and it's not glossy. There are 12 maps that kind of have subdued colors, but really precise art. And they just look really nice. They are by far my favorite maps of all time in Bibles. There is an index of the maps, and then several blank cardstock sheets, and then the back of the Bible. I'm not doing much for comparisons, but this needs to be pointed out in a video of this nature, and that is the relationship between personal size quintels and quintels in the same translation. Just like Cambridge did with their Pitmanians and wide margin Bibles, and I think now the diadems, they all have the same page numbering but different size Bibles. That's the same with the personal and regular quintels. So the only ESV personal size I have is a zippered edition, which I do have a video I will link to. But as an example, we have Isaiah here and Isaiah here. And you'll see that they both start on page 846, 847 there, 847 there, and they have the same page layout. So it's really nice because you can have a personal size quintel and your large print, or your wide margin, because the wide margin quintels in the same translation also have the same page numbering. And you can have your carry Bible that you take with you and when you go places. And then you have your Bible that you can either keep at home or preach from if you're preaching or studying, and have more readable, larger font. So that is the really key feature that I really like about these, because you get those different options in size, but you have the same layout that you can be familiar with. So there you have it, the ESV Quentel from Schuyler Bibles in slate goatskin. Probably my go-to reference Bible in terms of what I compare other Bibles to, especially premium Bibles. I always am thinking of a Schuyler Bible when it comes to how I gauge the quality of other publications. Definitely top of the line if you are willing to commit the $200. I think these are going right now for $205. Now that will change over the years, but the regular Quentel in goatskin is around $205. And it seems like a lot if you've never done it before. It was to me when I first looked at evangelicalbible.com, but this Bible will last for many years. And again, before we go, this is the same leather and color in the New American Standard. I've had this for over 4 years now, used it quite extensively. Yes, it does get scuffed up, but it will last for years. So, highly recommend Schuyler Bibles, and if you're looking for a premium line of Bible, definitely go check out evangelicalbible.com.